Welcome back, everybody, to the podcast that is science, the Sci-Cast. We are on episode 15 today. And we're going to talk to you about conspiracies on 9/11. And if you don't know what the 9 means, that's September.
And the 11th is the day.
But that part was self-explanatory.
Hopefully. If they didn't know what the 9 was, you know, they definitely didn't know what the 11
Sometimes
was.
people can't translate months into numbers.
Oh.
But days and...
Maybe they thought it was November 9th. They're European.
That's right. Those backwards weirdos.
Who's a peen?
So I'm your host, Dr. J. And my co-host. And our special guest has returned again.
Yay!
Yeah.
Also known as Brian, if you're listening to the audio podcast.
If.
That's me.
I think only one person listens to that.
Yeah, well, one person isn't enough. So, with our conspiracies that have cropped up over this time, a decade now, we figured we'd share a few and discuss our intentions on if they're relevant or completely stupid.
It's also timely since with the supposed death of Osama bin Laden,
Yeah.
many of the
As
conspiracy theorists have...
many newscasters have been calling Obama bin Laden. But...
As in Barack bin Laden?
Well,
is that what they said?
no, they literally go Obama bin Laden.
Osama, Obama,
Yeah.
pretty close, you know.
Well, I always...
And then they get the other one, his name mixed up with Osama.
You know, you figure Obama would change his name before he ran for president.
You would think so.
Because his name is Barack Hussein Obama.
Yes.
So,
Didn't seem to matter. Still
no,
won.
he doesn't. He still made it.
He still has birth certificate too.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Well, we can start off with some big theories that have made themselves present.
Okay.
Like, a big one is we had foreknowledge of these events before they actually happened.
Well, and again, if you look, Pearl Harbor was supposed to be foreknowledge before it happened.
So don't we have the precogs?
Huh?
From
No.
Minority Report?
No.
Aye.
No, but according to
Well, conspiracy theories say that,
Yeah.
hey,
our intelligence had knowledge of a lot of events that happened before.
well, maybe not the specifics, but they,
Well, no,
yeah,
but
have knowledge that something's going on, probably.
Yeah. well,
But,
yeah.
and some people would say they knew more specifically.
Well,
but-
I mean, even if they knew specifically, they probably didn't know where or exactly when.
Well, that's what I mean. They may, you know, whether they knew specifically when,
Well-
where it was going to happen, but they probably knew something was going to happen.
Yeah. And I mean, you can't really stop a force. What is it? 474. Are them the ones?
747.
747. Shut up.
I just got dyslexia, okay?
So, okay, how you just stop one of them in the air when you got all your
F-16s.
away?
Why with the F-16s?
Well, that's one of the theories.
Yeah, that's
that
our next
all of them were literally transferred off onto training missions that day.
Happened to be.
Happened to be.
Or if they were going to go out, but they were called off by somebody.
No, if you watch
Well,
some of the tapes of conspiracy theory people,
Yeah.
like Spare Change 9/11 and stuff like that. That's the only one I've watched.
which
so.
one? Spearhead? Is that what you said?
Spare Change.
Spare change.
Loose-
No,
Loose change.
Loose change. Yeah.
9/11. What they were basically saying is the whole areas around them, all the F-16s that would normally intercepted these planes
Right.
were called off on training missions or routine maintenance at around the time this happened.
Those things are very
And the
complicated
nearest one
things.
was 100.
But I think
I mean, it was an hour away.
there's only like, I thought I was reading, there's only about 14 jets that are actually patrolling the
Yeah.
US. Plus, didn't the didn't the terrorists turn off something that has to do with the radar
Well,
in the plane?
it's-
So they probably wouldn't have been able to find them anyway.
It's identification number. All of them have them. It's
Yeah.
the tracking number of the planes.
But that's right. But they turned that off, and so then
They did.
all it would
Couldn't
have.
you use just radar then?
Well, no, but that's the problem. You would just have all these. They wouldn't be able to tell it
Which
which plane. It wouldn't be able to identify it because there'd just be a whole bunch. Because there's all sorts of other planes up there right away,
that's
Yeah.
true.
and so they wouldn't be able to narrow down which plane was which.
and so,
That seems too easy.
well,
Like if that's all the terrorist has to do to keep itself blind to F-16.
well, it would have been blind to the radio towers, the Air Force towers, to the actual
flight control center.
yeah, the actual F-16s. If they were anywhere near it, the radar would have picked them up.
Right.
But they had
would have picked up a plane.
yeah, but they had no idea where they were in the first place to find them.
Well, because did you ever see United 93?
Yeah.
But that's the same kind of concept. The other plane that
The one that crashed.
the guys the passengers rose up and crashed it.
That's pretty.
They were they were when they were flying without not within range of the towers
Yeah.
or anything. They had that thing on, so they knew the trajectory.
Yeah,
But I suppose they probably wouldn't figure where they would go. They could turn the plane slightly.
alright.
What I'm trying to say is, when it turned off, you could see where they were going. In the
Well, yeah,
first place,
but they did do it. Now, this is another theory that the pilot that took over, he was supposed to have not have had the training enough to do a maneuver that he did, which is basically turn the whole plane in a huge loop.
You mean turning that thing like that? Is that how it?
According to the theories, that he did not have enough training to accomplish a high maneuver that he did.
At that speed, maybe.
I thought they just because
Like I said, according to them,
Now, was that the conspiracy theorists or that the actual flight control guys or pilots?
according to all the stuff that the movie said, the Spirit Change 9/11,
Loose change.
loose, whatever. Again,
Similes.
so according to that show,
Yeah.
they didn't have the training to pull that off, to pull off whatever maneuver he was.
I don't believe.
And according to them again, that it took a high-level pilot that's been doing it for years to accomplish the move that he was supposed to pull off, to be able to hit into this.
Because pilots can't even fly a specific plane unless they're licensed
Exactly.
on that plane.
But
Licensed
that's
for every part of that plane.
Yeah.
Wasn't
So-
that what they what those training things
Right.
for in Minnesota for that
Yeah,
specific
the,
plane?
Well, according
Plane.
to
Yeah.
according to the movie, that this guy had training for the 747s,
Right.
but he was not able to accomplish the move they wanted
Oh,
him to accomplish.
I suppose maybe if they have levels,
Yeah.
like,
He was a novice when they needed an expert to do
right.
what he was supposed to do.
I suppose if you take a driver's test, doesn't mean you can pull out special maneuvers on a Ferrari.
Exactly. Well, you could,
Yeah,
but
well-
you'd probably crash before it happened.
All right. Well, that's plausible. Okay.
So that was one of the theories, that he wasn't even supposed to be able to do this in the plane.
But they must know something, because how would you? I mean, the ones that were going to the World Trade Center, didn't they have to know how to get?
Well, now there's another theory. They believe that one of the pilots was not the actual people that hijacked the plane. They believe it was the U.S. government. That,
Well, is that we come up with that? No, I don't think I have that on here. That's a good one.
well, what it was is that the planes that crashed into the building were of very low-level people. What's the word I'm trying to say? That the whole airline was basically bought out, and only a few, I think it was like 68 people that were even on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
compared to the normal 300 and something that could have been on the plane. There was only like 68 people, and
So you
most
think that was pre-planned too?
that's what they believe.
Did I miss something? Did you say?
Yes, I did.
Wasn't that a plane that was going from Boston to New York and then going overseas?
I don't know. But again,
I think it might have, because that's why it was so full of jet fuel.
well, it
It was
was
going from
Well, it
Boston
was-
to
it
New
had a
York
long
and then
trip
it was
to
going to
go.
go overseas.
Yeah, and they.
Because I took a plane from actually a month before all this. I took a plane from Boston to New York. Then in New York, we got most of the passengers. Then we flew off to Japan. So the portion from Japan, Boston to New York.
Non-stop from
pretty
New
good.
York to Japan.
Yeah,
That's pretty long.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty long flight.
It's
That
about
would be-
About
12 hours.
Yeah.
12 hours.
so okay. Even if it is half full of fuel, I don't really care. Fuel, jet fuel especially,
Yeah, I was gonna say let's
is
look up.
very
combustible.
combustible. And the more water you put on jet fuel, the hotter it gets. Because it burns the oxygen right off of it and uses the oxygen as fuel. And the hydrogen.
Yes.
Yeah. You need both of them.
I'm looking up to see how much jet fuel I can carry.
It was like 97% full, I think they said. On the I don't really estimate that because I don't really know.
It's running really slow right
Yeah. Are you using
now.
yours?
I know, but I just realized why.
You aren't using yours, huh?
I bet
Oh.
this is downloading.
Ah, I see how you are.
It's nonsense.
Okay, now it should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, look,
So-
look at that. Look how fast that is.
So what's the total capacity?
Let's find out the specifications here.
747. Well, which class was it?
Maximum fuel capacity.
Well, okay. 48,000, and it was at like
Gallons.
40,000. Something like that.
It's gallons. U.S. gallons, not European
Not European
gallons.
So 48,000 gallons of fuel.
That's a lot.
183,000 liters.
That's a huge amount.
Yeah.
That's like a water tower. Well, no, probably not, but close to
Not
it.
much, but that's a lot. It's a lot.
I mean,
Maybe if it was condensed.
oh,
Because you could probably condense it in special tanks to hold.
Do they?
How is it? Solidified fuel? You know, like they use in space shuttles?
I
I
doubt
I
it.
don't think they do that.
Probably.
It's liquid. I'm sure it's liquid.
You don't want to slosh around and give them.
Well, I'm sure it's
Imagine.
probably compressed inside. They do use them, like.
It doesn't matter. I was just trying
Okay,
to.
anyway, Troy.
Yeah.
So, let's say even half of that, 20,000 pound. I mean, 20,000 gallons.
48. Well, unless you're saying.
I'm
half.
just saying half.
Yeah.
So, okay, 24,000 gallons
Oh, jet fuel.
of jet fuel.
Not gasoline, jet fuel.
Jet fuel, which literally burns quite hot. And the reason they don't use water on jet fuel fires is because the water evaporates and produces more oxygen and hydrogen for the
For
fuel.
To fuel the fire.
Yeah. So, there, flashpoint. What's the flashpoint on there?
100 degrees.
Degrees.
Well, that doesn't. That's probably when it lights, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So you want. I don't know. This one's 410 degrees. That's pretty high.
That's auto ignition temperature. That means it automatically
500
ignite.
550 open air burning.
So, let's see.
550 Fahrenheit. This is what it was open.
That's what it burns in the open air.
Yeah. So 550 degrees.
Now, let's see here. There should be a specification of what type of...
Now, this is the jet fuel page, not the.
Oh, go down.
Water and jet fuel.
Oh, look at that. That's
It's
good.
very important that jet fuel be free from water contamination.
During flight.
Well, it's a period. it's not the same sense. Anyway, do not mix water and jet fuel. So the reason we're going to bring this up is because when the jet hit the building, caused a big fire. What happens in a building when there's a fire?
Especially with most buildings nowadays have sprinkler systems, automatic sprinkler
yeah.
systems.
Yeah.
So where there's fire, the sprinkler systems are to go off, causing a bigger fire, which jet fuel, I
We
believe.
should probably keep going to see why water is not good. I know you mentioned it earlier, but it's for our viewers,
Or listeners.
or listeners.
Well, we already know why.
Well, they don't.
When
I know.
When water flash
Evaporates. Is that right?
evaporates, it produces oxygen and hydrogen, which are the two main components of water. 2 hydrogen to 1 oxygen molecule. Hydrogen burns by itself.
So when you add oxygen to a flame,
It gets even
everybody should
bigger. So, and hydrogen is a fuel too. It burns
That's what they.
with a combustible.
That's what the dirigibles ran off of, didn't
The what?
they? Hot air balloons. The Zeppelins.
That's
what
what
was
they.
it? Hindenburg.
They don't actually.
Wasn't that
No,
hydrogen?
evaporate doesn't actually separate into hydrogen and oxygen.
When it flash evaporates, it does. It evaporates so fast. It literally.
During the this conversation doesn't work.
Check on it.
I will check on it. I don't know if I agree with you.
Check on it. I don't know if it does exactly split, but I know it adds fuel to the fire.
I don't actually think you're actually splitting the molecule.
Well, I know it adds fuel to the fire.
Well, I might do that, but I don't think it's separating it into hydrogen.
Well, still, but it uses the oxygen off of it.
I'm just saying, but
So when it uses the oxygen off of it, it's just split them.
that's not what you're saying.
Okay. Any which way, it
Anyway.
uses the oxygen, then it consumes the hydrogen.
So we'll go.
So the
back-
more water you add to it,
Either
the
way,
more fuel
water's
is there.
bad.
Yeah, water is
We all
bad.
can agree on that.
And if I'm not mistaken, it can get up to 1,400 degrees
Which can
when that
damage
happens.
steel.
Which can, yeah.
Weaken.
1,400.
Yeah,
Okay. How hot is the sun?
way too hot.
Yeah.
But thermite was about the exact same that could get to 1,400 degrees when ignited. What?
What is that?
That's way
do
too
the
hot.
Corona 5 times 10 to the 6th Kelvin. Okay, well it's nowhere near the sun.
No. But nowhere near your stove either. It's more like probably a torch.
Stove can be up to 500 degrees. That's getting up there.
Well, if you said 1,400 degrees,
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's 1,000 off.
that's
Right.
higher than an
no, I know. We said it wasn't anywhere close, but
Well, to
Well,
the
me,
temperatures there were they weren't at 1,400. They were 1,000 degrees. Is when steel can get damaged. That's what
okay,
it is.
so
And you're
well,
up
look up the
close to that.
melting point of steel.
Well, nothing
Oh, so
actually
it's
melts.
melted.
Just that
Well,
it's damaged.
Well, still, even if the melting point is, because I know gold is like 150, it starts being soft. Right there. 1,600 degrees, it becomes liquid. At 1,400 degrees, it's liquid. The lowest is 1,200 degrees, it's liquid.
So when the plane hits the World Trade Center and causes a big fire, they're wondering, the conspiracy guys are wondering, since the building collapsed, that you need to have a fire big enough.
How it
to melt
collapsed
the
is what
interior.
they're talking about.
Right. Well,
Is they believe demolition style collapse where it free
Well,
fell.
well, because it imploded,
Yeah, if free fell is what they're talking about.
Okay.
Like the demolitions do it. They demolize 10 floors and the top floors fall down on top of them.
And then.
Yeah, it just-
Well, yeah.
just keep going down.
And it keeps going down from that.
Right.
But there's a free fall effect which causes the damage to the rest of the floors. And according to the movie I watched, Loose Change 9/11, There was little puffs of smoke like someone was igniting demolition charges.
Are we sponsored by that movie?
No, we are not. But that's the only movie I watched, so
I thought you watched Fahrenheit 9/11.
They don't have it on streaming.
Oh.
And I didn't want to order it.
Well, you don't want a Michael Moore film.
No, I don't care, but
Yeah, you are.
but I was asked to watch it just
Okay.
for this episode.
Nah,
I didn't get
nobody
around.
asked you, did they?
Yes.
Oh, Judy asked
Judy
you?
asked me.
Okay.
So is Loose Change on the streaming?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yes.
Netflix
But
is amazing.
They show
They don't like
little
Michael Moore.
puffs of smoke coming out, like if it was being demolished.
Where were the
Demolition.
puffs coming out?
The floors below where it was falling. Now, to my thing, if you got a burning building at 1400
At least.
degrees at least, there's to be puffs of smokes exploding out the windows on the floors below it.
I'm sure there's a lot of paper being,
Well, it's not only paper. I mean, you got tons of fuel leaking down to the floors below.
Right.
Adding water on top of that, adding whatever is in the buildings on top of that.
Yeah.
There's to be tons of smoke and tons of pressure exploding out the windows below it. Because it's a gather, it's a melt straight through down to the low levels before the building starts caving in. You know?
Sure.
So, I have no problem saying that it could have been done easily.
Well, what about the theory that there was a bomb strapped inside the plane when it crashed and they blew those up to help?
I never heard that theory. They never even said that on the.
Wasn't that what are you
Well,
talking
they said
about?
bombs in the building.
They had thermite in the building.
So it was a pre.
So here's the thing.
Yeah,
They
there's-
thought that, okay,
So they knew
George
which-
Bush knew the construction company that did all the work on the renovations of the Twin Towers.
Right.
He knew the security company.
Well, he knows a lot of things.
What
His
what do you mean
brother-
he knew?
Okay,
What do you mean he knew?
he had ties to.
Talking about Jeb Bush.
Yes, I don't know.
I know he was the governor of Florida.
But- One of them had a security company that his brother was in a security company that did all the security for for the Twin Towers. And the construction company that did all the work on the Twin Towers,
Yeah.
he had ties to, according to the movie.
So he had ties
So he
to
had
keep it
ties-
standing.
No, ties to
He
keep
was
it.
into the construction company.
Well, see, there again. He
No, so
paid
what-
the construction company to paint thermite on it
Oh, I see.
and
I see what you mean.
But-
to make it come down because he wanted a war against
Right. He wanted that.
Iraq and them because, of course, he owns what?
But that would be unethical. They would never do that.
So have they found these? Have they had these people who did these things?
Okay,
came out?
see, here's the thing. This brings us along to another conspiracy theory. All the work that was done,
Yeah.
all the security, all the construction papers, all the information of this was held in Building 7. Okay?
Okay.
And that's another building that came down exactly as a construction style, the free fall style that everyone says shouldn't happen if. And it's the only other building that came all the way down, besides the Twin Towers. This is in the theories.
That is the one.
But is
one
that really
thing-
true?
Well,
There's no plans anywhere else.
I would say the government's really good at documenting their work.
Yeah.
Usually, because
They triplicate everything, you know.
I'm sure they hold it in a storage. I'm sure they hold it here and they hold it
Usually
there.
it's supposed to be a
But these-
fireproof safe.
These are not the government. These were the construction company itself and the security firm itself.
Did the security firm also get burned down?
Well, the security firm's stuff was in Building 7. They had a thing in there.
So what is Building 7?
Building 7 was
There's another tower at the World Trade
was
Center.
another building at the World Trade Center.
I mean, they had numbers of different towers.
Yeah, and none of the other buildings fell down. They were crashed on, but none of them fell down. Building 7 was the only other one fell down. and it had the security something in there. And the guy that was head of that was gone for the day. And I don't know. You would have to watch it. It's very entertaining.
Well, that gives me a thing about why it's not true.
Why?
If it's entertaining.
Well, it's entertaining to watch the psychos. I mean, whoops.
Well, I suppose, okay,
Don't
they meant
prejudge people.
like they were just talking about stuff because
Judging people, yeah.
they just
Come
wanna-
on.
we don't.
Me
Heyman
judge-
doesn't judge anybody.
Yeah. Judge everyone. Hate you all equally.
Okay, Building 7.
Building 7. So, now they believe it came down in the same style the other ones came down. Free fall. Boom, 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 boom. Of course, they didn't say they seen any puffs of smoke coming out of that building.
I'm guessing it's this one.
I don't know exactly.
Current.
Okay.
Current center.
But it was Building 7. Try Building 7 instead of... That's the rebuild.
Yeah, because the new one, the old one was red. Apparently.
Go back to the...
Well, I'm trying to see what was in this place.
Go back to 9/11 conspiracy theory up there. Go to
Building 7.
Building 7.
That's where we're at.
No, down. Go down.
Go down.
Down, down, down. Way up, down. Okay.
He passed. You were supposed to look at the...
No,
Oh, no,
it,
it
no,
still
it's-
goes-
it
oh,
still
okay.
goes down.
The Pentagon, Flight 93.
Nope, I did pass it already.
Did you? Right here. Go down a little bit. Right
No,
around. Right.
no, hold on. No, where is it? Oh, maybe I don't have it on. Oh, that's why I added it. Okay, so it's actually not here.
It should be in
So
there
go back to
somewhere.
the. It'll be in. Wasn't it the one that you were just at? The World Trade Center one?
No, that's the new one.
That's the only Building 7
But they got something. Don't they have it in the collab right here?
No, right there. Total deletion of Building 7. Right there. The Building 7 section of the World Trade collapse section was entirely deleted by another editor.
Yeah, this is no. You got to go back.
This is not what we want.
Yeah, right here. This is what we want.
What?
Isn't it?
Well, this is the World Trade Center collapse. But it doesn't reference World...
No. That right there.
Yeah.
That's something else, though.
This is the 7. It's
Go-
the building... September 11th, it was destroyed.
Yeah,
Oh,
go,
okay.
Go down.
What was the security firm?
Go down.
Collapse.
Yeah, there you go. There.
That building, I'm guessing.
So, what does
Heavy
it say?
debris hit the number 7,
Okay.
causing
That's
damage
what
to
it
the
says.
south face.
But when you watch
According
the
to
video,
Wikipedia, though.
when you watch the video that they show on,
Yeah.
you don't see no debris hitting it.
Have you seen all this stuff when those things collapse? It's everywhere.
I'm just
mean, it's
saying,
like for
when they
blocks.
show it, you don't see it. You don't see it getting hit when
So
it's
it-
collapsing.
So what would make this thing collapse the same way? Heat, right? I'm guessing?
Well, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, it would have to have been hit.
Right.
Or
I mean,
exploded.
the debris I'm saying must have had to been, a jet fuel tank or something.
It could have been. I mean, if maybe an engine fell, filled jet fuel. I don't know. I mean, could have been easily.
Wasn't it that the fires kept burning in the? I mean, there were fires in Building 7.
Well, they
that didn't get
put out
put out because one, the firefighters were
busy with other things.
they were probably dead in the building.
And that was,
And
I
they
think
didn't
that
have-
was
and they
another
didn't
question
have-
Judy had. Was it
And they didn't have
the same
wire.
type of fire that? Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the same type, but I mean, just all the.
Well, I mean, even if
debris.
it was the same type, somehow it would have done the same exact thing.
Well, it probably would have been a different because it wouldn't have been a jet fuel fire. It would have been more of a.
Apparently there
regular
was
fire. But the fires just lasted for a long time.
the total diesel fuel on the premises contained massive potential energy. The best hypothesis has only low probability of occurrence. They don't know what caused it.
Okay, so if it had diesel fuel,
So I'm trying to figure out maybe there was some, what kind of company would be in there that would have diesel fuel sitting in there. Probably
Well-
maybe for a generator, maybe?
Wasn't there something on the?
well, here's the
Scroll through that.
What is there? There was a couple things here. What was it? If I see down here. What was the buildings in there?
Well, there was something go up. There was something that there was a power station or something.
That would make sense.
Go up further. Go back to the beginning. I thought it was something
Oh,
like that.
here?
Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, the building was situated above a power substation.
Okay, so electrical.
And I'm guessing
They had
one of the other
backup
ones around there
generators.
Had one below it. That's probably
Probably not.
why this one went.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, diesel fuel, for one, is highly ignitable,
Yes, like most fuels.
like most fuels. And
Not
it
as
was
highly as jet fuel, but
it was in probably tanks, which when they ignited,
an exploding.
And they weren't ever put out.
yeah.
They
So,
burned for
substance.
okay, you got a can of diesel fuel that ignites. It'd probably make a pretty good explosion, which could take a building down.
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming, yeah, quite feasible. If the fire spread over to it, somehow it could easily have came down. Even better than the other buildings came down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would explain why it would.
Yeah.
A plausible reason why it would.
And yeah, it had structural weaknesses that the other buildings didn't have
Like
Did
what?
it?
around there. Well, because I thought there was because of the way there's this power thing above it, but there's also something about how it was built. I thought that put a lot of stress on like the front of it or something, and then that kind of caused a chain reaction to make the whole thing come down. Here, go down where it talks about the
Well, I'm
collapse of it.
looking right here what it was designed.
Well, this one's gonna be good. I like this one.
Yeah, the substation had the substation, which is the power thing, was designed to carry a building of 25 stories,
And it
but
was
ended up being 47.
47 stories.
That was one of the
Okay.
problems.
So, yeah. So it was actually a bigger building than it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So any amount of explosion underneath it would have probably caused it to come down.
Because it was so
Just something
structurally
falling on it would have came
Because
down.
it was so structurally unstable.
Well, okay, you're talking about almost another 25 feet on. Okay, what? 22 feet on top of it?
Feet or stories.
Stories, sorry. Another 22 stories on top of this building that weren't even
That's a lot of
supposed to
weight,
be
too.
there. And one, because they said this in that movie, that it was totally enclosed so it could not catch on fire or anything. It was supposed to be decked out in steel and everything else. Because it was some security thing.
Okay.
So it was decked out with steel and everything, and that was like one of the higher floors. So
Okay. Well. Yeah. It's plausible. Extremely.
that's extremely possible.
Yeah.
I mean, just the weight itself, I'm surprised it didn't collapse. That's another 22
Wow,
stories.
Those engineers are pretty good at tolerances.
Still.
They know how many they can add on before it would collapse.
Yeah, but still 22
I wonder if it would
stories.
I wonder if it would be earthquake proof.
Don't think it would.
I doubt it. I don't know how many earthquakes New York has, but
So none. It's built on bedrock.
how about a tornado? I don't think a tornado's up there either. So I think
The
they figured the only natural disasters that could occur would be an invasion of dolphins or something.
well, probably nothing that would
Right.
tear the
So that's
buildings
another
down.
reason why they would add
Yeah.
these stories on.
20, but
This-
22
this-
stories is huge.
Okay. This is the use of thermite instead of explosives has been discarded by the NIST on the basis that it is unlikely the necessary 100 pounds of thermite for each steel column could have been planted without being discovered.
Well, they believe that the security company went in and painted them with thermite.
Paint what?
Painted them with thermite. It was painted thermite.
Oh. Can you do that?
In the paint, yes, you can. It was proven that
Oh,
you
I
can
see.
do it. But
it
in the
could-
paint.
Yeah, but 100 pounds.
Well,
per
yeah,
column?
exactly. That's
a lot.
quite
of
a
paint.
lot. That's extreme a lot. Yeah.
We're just gonna
You would
paint
have to
these
put-
walls, not those, just these.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to paint them quite a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, it does get up to quite a bit of temperatures.
But if you're gonna have to put 100 pounds per each
Column.
steel column, and you do it by paint, that seems
Well, I mean,
implausible.
Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of hard to. When the reconstruction was done, would probably have been the only time that it could have been done. But what
How
that
could
was.
you paint on 100 pounds of thermite? That
I'm just saying
seems-
that's the only time it could have been brought into the building.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been hard to bring that much into the building, anyways.
Yes.
But if you have pounds of paint buckets coming in to redo modeling, then it could have been brought in. But getting that past security would have been harder than hell.
Well, getting that many gallons of paint in there would.
Plus, it seems that seems like you're starting to get a lot of people who are involved in this.
Well, that's the thing
conspiracy,
is
and it seems unlikely that they all would have
agreed to it. Yeah, I know.
agreed not to say anything, or perhaps that's a lot of people do have disappear.
Well, here's the thing.
Well,
Because everybody
Okay.
has a price.
I suppose.
Mm,
Haman
Yeah.
might not have a price.
you know,
Maybe it just might not be in money.
the thing is though. You
I
can't.
get paid in women.
You can't. Why would I want that? I would like a lot of. I would like a lot of blackmail
judging by
to
the
be able to
results,
blackmail a lot of people afterwards. Because then I could do things behind the scene and not
Right.
be. But
You'd have to get a tape recording of that conversation too. You can't just say he said, she said.
video recording, not tape recording,
Well, either one would work.
electronic video recording.
Could be tampered with, you know that.
Okay. Anyway, Troy. So
Yeah, we're moving on to the.
Let's move on.
To something else. How about Israeli agents did this?
okay, them were the ones that were supposed to take over the plane, and what it was, according to the tape I watched, the ones that did it were trained by the U.S.
Well, we're friends with Israel.
Well, that's the thing is they were trained by the U.S. and the U.S. had these missions where they would do a test run of what happened.
Yeah.
They were supposed to do one 3 months before this happened to see if it was possible for it to happen. You know how we do our little training exercises to see how we can stop them if they can happen, whatever. It was supposed to be a test run. And they were two of the people that were supposed to be doing it.
But I don't think the pilots were Israeli.
I don't know.
Unless they were
No.
killed in the night and they took their ID tags. Yes,
No,
I'm
no,
Israeli.
no. They were supposed to hijack the plane
Right.
and see if it was possible to do
So
all
you're saying
of it.
that this was a test run?
I'm not saying
I'm
that.
not saying, but that's what you're getting
That's
at, right?
what they were supposed. It was supposed to be a test run. Once upon a time, it was supposed to be done before
Well-
this happened.
And so why would Israel want to do this?
Well, see,
It wasn't Israel
well,
doing it.
No, that's why it would be Israeli agents, because they wanted America to be mad at the Muslims.
Muslims.
And of
Or-
course-
Sure, but we already support Israel
Well, I
quite
know,
a bit more.
but
so why
this
would they
kind
why
of
would
gives
they
us
do
a
this
kick in
now?
the butt and say, hey,
Yeah,
hey,
But,
go shoot those guys.
we already do that, so why would they risk jeopardizing it?
Well, I don't know if.
But, you know,
It's
Well,
a
I'm
couple
That's
different
what I'm
things.
saying. That's why that
Yeah.
seems
that,
doesn't seem,
it's no, I don't think it's.
that plausible.
Even if it wasn't them. It was.
The Jewish faith would not allow them to do that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Especially
Okay.
if they're Orthodox.
Let's do faith here. No, come on. Okay, most religion faith is about killing to get what they want.
No,
Talk
let's
to the
not-
Dalai Lama anytime
Let's
recently?
not go there, Heyman.
Well-
That's your interpretation of religion.
Yeah.
We all know that
Really.
when it comes to that, you're kind of on the deep end, off the deep end,
Yeah.
compared to many people.
Well, if you go back in history, most of religion is bathed in blood.
And you go back in time, and even if there wasn't religion, people still fought
It isn't
each
just
other.
religion; it just society was.
Well, religion was the main cause for a lot of deaths.
No, people have been the cause of death.
Remember, guns don't kill people.
People
People
kill
do.
people.
Isn't that okay?
That's like the spoon makes you fat, right?
Yeah, that's just it. That's what you're saying. You're saying religion's the problem. It's just the people are the problem.
Well, religion
Yeah, okay.
was the cause.
In the Soviet Union and Communist China, two completely a-religious societies.
A-religious? They don't got no religion at all?
No, that
Well,
was the point of their society.
Because communists do
And
not allow
none.
religion.
Killed, I don't know, 100
You're supposed
million
to
people.
obey the
No, they had no religion. Yes.
not the religion.
Oh, but they do have a sort of religion.
Well, in
They
essence, it is in a way, but the point is, they do not allow you to practice religion.
There's no religion
It's like China.
in those.
Even though people in China are religious, but
The people doing the killing were not religious.
Well, I'm sure they had their own other goals.
Okay, but you're...
Just like religion, it has its own goals.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's
it was
my point.
okay. Well, off of
Doesn't have anything to do
religion.
with religion. It's just
No
people.
religion. Let's not talk about
People
that.
are bad.
Well, yes, but that's besides the point. I am not going to go kill people just because of what I believe.
so Israeli agents probably not.
Yeah, that one seemed... Yeah, that
Even,
one's-
I mean,
doesn't seem very...
I just don't see any kind of agents from another country doing it.
Russia,
Well,
China would probably be more impressive, but
China
Korea.
has do that.
Korea probably would do.
Korea
more,
would
but not
probably
China.
have.
I don't think China would.
China probably won't.
Because they have too much invested here.
I
Plus,
mean,
they would want a conflict in the middle.
well, they would get all the steel from the building like they did anyways.
Why would Korea? want to do that?
Korea, because they're need people.
Yeah, but that doesn't like they...
Well, North Korea was.
Seems like an odd thing for North Korea to do. I mean, they would do something with their nukes or something. You know? I
Well,
mean, I
yeah.
don't think they would go
They-
through this
what did they build
process
the-
of planning and...
Did they build the?
Well, they hadn't had nukes yet in 2001. Remember? Just
Did they-
recently they started doing their.
No. That's,
But they did
no,
build
they
the,
Were, that was what part of the... Back in the late 90s, they were.
Yeah,
Korea?
they were trying to
building them.
build
They said that they weren't.
enriched
Right.
uranium
They said
for
that they weren't,
other
but they
things.
were actually doing it. And that was... Don't you remember all that stuff in the...
I think his
How was
history
it?
lessons done.
I was a
Weren't
kid.
you in school back then?
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been studying this.
Yeah.
We were studying
things?
history, not current events.
But okay,
Anyways,
so
let's
okay,
go
even
on to
if
the
it
next one.
wasn't,
That's-
I mean, yeah, other
it
countries
seems-
probably
that
not so
seems-
much.
Australia? Going once?
Well, Australia was a prison colony.
Yeah, but not anymore.
Well,
They
it was
want-
founded by prisoners.
right now they want tourists so they know.
Maybe it was
Don't
the
want-
Vatican.
Vatican?
Maybe.
You think?
Possible.
Because of them damn religion people.
Religion.
Okay, anyways.
Next
how
one.
about the absence of Jewish employees in the World Trade Center?
But there was an absence.
Well, there was an absence of a
theory.
lot of people. And
But there were Jewish people who died.
Yeah.
Citizens of Israel who died.
Okay, we'll cross that one out because I just wrote it down because I read it somewhere.
well, again,
So I said, is that too anti-Semitic?
it's anti-Semitic.
Anti-Jewish.
Oh, who cares? I'm not Jewish, so
So it'd be like
I'm not
saying
in any religion.
it's
but
like
Well, that's not just a religion. That's
it's a race technically.
it's not a race.
yeah.
No.
Well,
It's kind of both. It's,
Yeah.
Well, you can convert to Judaism. But it's also
you can't convert to the race of Judaism.
Oh. Okay. well,
Unless you get a DNA replacement surgery.
Oh,
which is
you
the
know what I
subject
seen?
of our next
Okay,
podcast.
hold on. You know what I seen on TV? This is the funniest thing. I was
it's on
watching.
TV. It's real.
No, no, it's a commercial, and you can get the DNA of someone made into a diamond. The carbon DNA fibers made into a diamond.
Cubic zirconium.
I don't know. It's the fact that you could have your dead loved one around your neck in a diamond. It's called DNA
I
diamond.
mean, just having the DNA strand embedded in a piece of diamond.
No, it's made. The carbon fibers of DNA or whatever is made into diamonds.
So that if you lick it, you lick that person.
I guess. I don't know exactly.
It's like a wishing rock. You know, you rub it.
I don't know. So you got that person with you at all times.
Well, some people.
That's why I don't want transplants.
What about this one? Is that on your list?
Yes, that was the second one actually. I forgot about that one.
Skip that one.
Suspected insider trading.
Really? Never heard about that.
They talk about
in your movie.
people.
No, that wasn't in
really?
the movie, actually.
People. The stock of United Airlines and American Airlines was kind of
Which were the two
the airplane companies.
planes that were hijacked?
They had extraordinary amount of put options. I don't know what the hell a put option is.
Didn't you just go to college? Weren't you like a business
Well,
major?
I
at one
know,
point?
but we didn't. I think that's made up.
No, that's actually. You know, I can tell you. basically it's you buy an
Right.
option and you have the option to
Buy it
sell
later.
it in the future.
Okay.
So if the stock's going to go down, you
You have-
have
okay.
you have put and call options. You're not actually buying the stock. You're buying a right to either buy or sell the stock.
At the same
So-
price it was.
So basically, the
No, you can either, depending on what it is, if it's put or a call, you're getting the right to sell it at a certain price or to buy it at a certain price. So, but these were if the price went way down, so whoever would have had the options would have made a lot of money.
Ah.
That isn't that. I don't know why that would be a conspiracy theory, because if
that'd be publicly known.
no,
You can
necessarily
probably see. Well, trading, you can see what happens all the time.
Yeah, but
you can see what it's done. You can see that, but you don't necessarily know who it was.
yeah.
Wouldn't you?
No, they don't have real time reporting on who.
Yeah.
Who's.
They don't put it on who it was.
Well, who
I mean, you
how
could
do
have-
know who to wire the money to?
No, I mean you could have
Or
had.
from.
You could have had.
I mean, there would have been records of it, but it wouldn't
Right.
have been online for you to see.
Well, if you were, let's say, loose change, they could probably have found it out, right?
Yeah, they probably could have,
Yeah.
but they had no thing of this. So any which ways, yeah, that ain't even. I don't even think that's even worth it.
Well, no, that was what. Do you remember that? You should remember those from James Bond. The first.
Dr. No?
No. The first Daniel Craig one.
Casino Royale.
Yeah, that's what that. Remember that one guy was doing?
Right.
The terrorist. Or not the.
It was,
what was the guy? It's the guy with the cut on his eye. What was his name?
He didn't have a cut, he just had it.
Or so he had a weeping eye.
A
or
weeping
something.
teardrop.
Yeah, I mean that's what he was doing with. Remember he had that plane. There was that plane that he
was betting on the plane, on the company to lose.
Yeah, which this is basically what this is saying here.
Oh, I
So
see.
they're basically so.
You know what's really funny about that? The writer of Casino Royale, Paul Greengrass.
Yeah.
He wrote the movie.
Oh,
United
that plane.
93.
Oh yeah, that's right. Made
About-
this. Oh, another.
See, he learns. He learns. He puts different things together.
But anyways, I mean
Okay, so I understand. Okay.
like Al Qaeda or the terrorists could have been the ones who were buying these options
Yeah.
Right.
because they knew what was going to happen, and so if they were able to
Play the
have these
system.
get paid out,
Right.
then they could have, because obviously they need money to finance their nefarious operations.
Well, I thought that was all being done by Bin Laden. I mean, he was an inherited.
Well, he was certainly some of it.
Well,
but
it
they
does
probably
say
wanna-
right down there, the Security and Exchange Commission launched an inside trading investigation in which Osama bin Laden was suspected after receiving information from at least one Wall Street firm.
So somebody was talking to Bin Laden.
I guess. That's what it says right there
It does say what
at
it
the
says.
bottom.
It was estimated that the trader or traders would have realized a $5 million profit, but which isn't a lot. if you think.
$5 million?
But that's not a lot.
Well,
That's a lot in a one-time blow.
Well, it's
I mean, seriously, yeah.
$5 million.
$5 million? What would you do with $5 million right now?
Can you finance a war on $5 million?
No, but you could finance a lot of this stuff that they did, another operation. I mean,
Okay, if you're
A lot of
using
it.
people that do have to work for you for free,
well, they wouldn't do it for free, but
well, oh come on.
maybe well, he's gonna pay their expenses.
Well, yeah, but still.
Let them go to a lot of strip clubs in a year.
Okay, still.
Anyway,
I mean,
it's
you
a lot
take
of money, but it's not a lot of money. And
in a foreign
That's-
country, it's probably a lot of money.
I suppose that American
mean,
dollars in
another
Afghanistan
country?
or Iraq could buy
Right.
a lot of bazooka shells.
Well, I mean,
AK-47 is pretty cheap.
what if you go over to China with
Well, that's
it?
just one of their sources of income. That's another.
That could be.
I mean, they knew that they probably. I mean, they
They're
might
probably
have
also
just thought,
hacking too. Stealing all the.
yeah, it's
credit
taking
card
all the.
numbers.
It's probably the people who took your little, your
From
PlayStation.
Sonya,
thing.
Sony, PlayStation.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all your bank account's been drained, even though you think it hasn't.
Well, according to
We're gonna take the
Sony,
money, but make it look like it did.
according to Sony, the credit card of the U.S. did not get hacked. It was of foreign countries that got hacked.
Australia got hit pretty bad.
Did it?
Because mine's okay.
So you
I
think.
checked mine today.
So you think?
See,
Still
they
has
set up the
money
link,
in it.
so when you click on the link to go to your bank, it actually sends you this other link.
I do
which-
not fall for them phishing scams.
Well,
PHISHING.
you think so?
All right.
So,
So, anyways,
Insider trading.
so that's something that could have been done by the
could have easily been
terrorists.
done. Now, what's
And
this?
that wouldn't necessarily be a conspiracy
Air
theory. That's
defense
just-
stand down theory. What's that?
That's kind of what you're talking about.
Oh, that's
Well, that was
that was the training operations that they were all.
This is kind of different to it.
Yeah, see,
let's say they weren't doing
Here.
a training.
Yeah, see, only 14 fighter jets were on alert on 9/11. There was no
Okay.
method for civilian air traffic controllers
automated.
to alert. Yeah, they
Alright.
basically would have had to pick up the phone and call their front desk,
Right.
which takes a while. Only one civilian plane has ever been intercepted, and it took an hour and 22 minutes to find it. That was when they probably did. They hadn't turned off their transponders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this would make more sense to most of them.
Yeah, see,
Because they didn't want to. There's maybe some political fallout for shooting down a civilian aircraft.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
but-
nobody expected anybody to fly into a damn building.
Well, yeah, and the thing was that
Because most terrorists,
Did you watch
they
the
never
one-
kill. They want the money. So they say we'll land here, have another jet for us, or we're going to kill these guys.
But did you ever watch The Lone Gunman? Their first episode?
no.
Plane flying into the World Trade Center?
No way.
It did.
Really?
Yeah. That was like their first episode.
Maybe it was.
I
their
guess the
favorite
terrorists
show.
were a fan of the Lone Gunman series too. A short-lived series.
Never seen it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
okay, so that's kind of
Right.
different than what I was saying, but
Yeah, so it's not easy to locate and intercept a plane behaving erratically. And the hijackers turned off or disabled the transponders.
yeah.
Without these, they would have simply been a blip among the other 4,500 other blips on NORAD's radar screens, making them very difficult to track.
Very difficult. Especially those other planes nearby.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be, you would see 5 and you could get the 4, then by the time you seen them again, you would have to figure out where the other ones were again. So, I mean, they would basically have to match the transponder
Well,
with
they would
the
have to
radar.
do what they did do. They would ground all planes.
But that took. I mean, that
But
took
how
all
long
day.
does that take?
That took all day.
I mean,
Right, but that's
Well,
what I'm saying.
planes can-
That's something you
yeah,
can't.
Yeah.
that's the only thing you can do, and that'd take forever.
Yeah. So there's
Especially-
4,500 other planes.
Because you got to land them all.
Yeah.
Finite amount of airspace.
Yeah.
Or I mean airstrips.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay, so what's the next one?
What else we got? The Pentagon attack. We really.
Okay,
talked
that
about.
was another one that someone wanted to hear about. How did the hole in the Pentagon be smaller than the plane?
Okay, well, it makes sense.
Well,
Well, this thing about the debris, I don't know about that.
yeah, they said there was very limited debris. Like, same with the one at Flight 93, I think it was.
93.
That there was very little debris left at the two.
So they're saying
That when they
incinerator?
crashed, that according to them on the movie, that according to the crashing sites, that there was less debris than any plane accident ever before.
No, are they talking about other 747 plane
Yes,
attacks or regular aircraft?
they were talking about all. That in all the flights
Yeah.
crashes, that these two had the least amount of debris ever. Because according to them on the Flight 93,
Yeah.
they found a piece of the fuselage and an engine. That's all they found. And with the one that crashed into the thing,
Pentagon?
the Pentagon, they didn't find no debris outside of the Pentagon. So there was none outside on the lawn.
Well, that would make sense though.
What's this?
That's...
Debris scattered outside the Pentagon.
I'm just saying, that's what they...
It's quite a bit of ways from it.
Yes, it is.
I'll change the camera here. So that you guys can...
Looks like a lot of debris.
See,
And that looks like a huge...
This is the
huge
Pentagon.
place, though.
This building.
I mean,
Smoke.
look at that.
Here's some debris,
Right there.
and that's a fire truck spraying water.
Well, there's a lot of debris. You can just see it scattered around.
There's some more debris. There's some more debris. There's a bunch of people lined up for some reason.
It's probably the fire department.
But
But
they're over there.
what? Well, the shooting. So go back to another. They had the other pictures. Yeah, go up to that. Okay, look how big this is. Now this is what they're trying to say, that the wingspan of the plane and how tall the plane was and everything does not match a slow picture.
Refresh the page.
That
That's all it is.
I don't know.
Try to,
It's still trying to go.
That's a slightly smaller picture.
Okay, so they're trying to say that
This thing here isn't big enough.
no,
It just,
well, for the wingspan and everything, it's not big enough for that.
yeah. Well,
Where
but,
you don't see the debris of the wings.
yeah, but most of the debris is going to be in here because the whole
Right.
force of everything is going
Well, yeah,
this
it's
way.
a crushing
I mean,
in.
it's going to shear it off, and I mean, it's not going to make it fly
Exactly.
backwards.
Well,
It's
yeah,
gonna,
I
it's
know.
Gonna kind of,
I know this. I'm just
Right.
trying
Crush
to
it, just,
explain what
crush
they're
it
trying
down
to
and-
say. That
then it's
there's
kind of going to be like a missile. in shape.
exactly, it's a crush the wings into the
Yeah,
side of
the
it,
whole
and it's a
thing's
go
gonna keep
straight
going.
in.
right.
I mean, yeah, it's same with arrows.
Yeah.
When you do arrows, you know, the tail fins just fold in if they hit.
What?
No, man.
The feathers on
Yeah.
the under, but an arrow just goes in like this far.
I know.
The feathers don't go in.
Well, if they ever do,
It'd be like this far away from me to you.
Your point? Who says you don't shoot things that
It's
close?
not that
Well, we all know I don't.
So any which ways. So any which ways, you ever throw a paper airplane? When it crashes, it breaks the wings.
Does that work?
Huh? Yeah, we did.
Or we used to.
We've done it.
Not for a long time.
So
They're dangerous.
yeah, the wingspan, you can tell where the wings
Yeah.
would have hit easily. You
Yeah.
can see the
Yeah.
on the side over here.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to say how far it sits up is where you don't see the damage from the wings.
Big hole.
Yeah, that's a good size hole for. And and the other theory was the only place that it hit was where it was reinforced. Okay.
Right.
So why would they aim for the reinforced place
Well, I don't think
with
they
the fewest people in it?
Oh, I know why. Because you're leaning over. That's why.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that they posted the reinforced place with the fewest amount of people in it that day.
Enhance. Zoom in. Clean that up a bit.
So I mean,
I can see the mirror inside the room showing the shadow of a person. I love those shows.
so yeah, I mean, even if, and the only footage released, you don't get to see the plane crash. You
You
see
see like a.
you see the building, then you see
Explosion.
the explosion, and that's all you see.
Isn't
You
there
don't.
like a white streak that you see?
I have seen
No.
that one. I remember
Have
seeing
you
it.
seen, was there well on the movie?
Because it
The
also
only ones they showed was you seen a.
it could have been an edited
Are you
video.
doing some fancy
It
editing?
was only
there?
like 5 frames they showed,
Right. Well, that's not very much.
and it was the only frames they showed was 5 frames. One, you seen nothing there, then I was saying you seen an explosion with no plane in it, and blah blah blah. So, right there, that one. Let's see if they show. Is that it? I guess so. No, it's barely.
It won't load up anymore.
Yeah, it is at 16 right now. 17.
Yeah, it's not gonna load up anymore.
Why?
This is on my home internet.
Oh. Yeah, it won't load up anymore then.
Yeah, let me turn on my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, turn on your Wi-Fi.
Mine doesn't have a password, so mine would be easier.
Mine should already be able to connect.
We'll find out. We'll see whose smartphone is better. I actually didn't turn mine on, so yours will win.
No one, because you have to connect. Remember?
Hold on, that's not how you do it.
How do you do it?
Click on that. No, right click, left click.
Left click.
Yeah, there.
Whatever. Okay.
You right click when you should have left clicked.
Okay.
Or refresh the page. That might work too. Well, you gotta wait till it see a little circle thing. That means it's thinking. See,
Unable to connect.
Don't worry. It does it all the time.
Yeah, it does. I don't know why. And you're connected. According to my phone, you're connected.
It's thinking. Let's go. Get the little road sign on it.
Because your internet is screwy. See, connected.
No, it's not. See, it's got the sign. It's not.
What's going on?
Go forward. Is it connected to Alexander?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it should work now. Refresh the page.
You're bossy.
He is.
No, you guys don't do what you're supposed to do. I gotta tell you these things.
There you go. Go.
So, any which ways. So, watching this.
I'm gonna get this car on the camera. Use the camera to catch the camera footage.
And it's a little close.
Well, it's a small screen. Is it working? Oh, don't do that. Is it playing? Yeah, it's playing.
The plane.
I can see some pixels moving.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I'll hold it down here so you can see it moving.
So is this the plane there?
Well, no.
Or what's that?
Because it'd come straight
That's
in.
a weather balloon.
From Roswell.
It's gotta be.
It's the aliens looking after it. Ooh, policeman. Any which ways, they're looking for you. So I'll go move.
Holy cow. You know how long this podcast is?
Too long.
It's over an hour.
Hey, there's a car.
The police. They're everywhere.
Well, this is a bad video.
Yeah, it is.
Because, did you know how slow the frames were going? You're not going to be able to catch the plane.
Yeah,
Because
that's
it's going
what
like
they're saying.
one frame every 5 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, you better security cameras.
Well, those are expensive because it's a lot of expensive to keep.
Oh, here it comes. There it was. I did see this plane, though.
You
Did you?
saw
I seen it,
Go
yeah.
back.
It was right about... Oops, right before that. Watch. See it?
No, I didn't.
Go back.
Go back.
Go back.
Damn you. It was slowly. Watch in this corner right here. Ready? Right about... Now.
Oh,
see
I
it?
see it. Yep, I
Did you
saw
see it?
The
No.
one frame I saw.
Oh, come on.
It was right in this area.
Let's see if I can pause it.
You see it right there.
Okay,
You
right
see
there.
it? Right there in the corner.
Isn't it the thing that they say that, oh, that's just a missile?
Well, that's the nose of the plane.
It is white. And most missiles aren't white. They're usually
Well, it depends.
racist. They're usually black.
Enhanced picture. It's not
Enhanced.
Well, I mean, look at this. You got debris going everywhere.
That plane was pretty low to the ground.
They were landing. They had engine trouble. I don't know.
They wanted to make sure to hit the building.
Yeah, I mean,
That's all it was.
so any which ways, yeah, I mean, just looking at that alone, yeah, that's not even I mean, you got to see the plane. Well, not really. You got to see something white.
There is eyewitnesses that said they saw a plane too.
Okay, so, I mean...
We know eyewitness testimony can't hold up in court.
What are you talking about?
All the time. Yeah.
Of course it can. That's what they...
Well, they can be bribed off, but, I mean, they can be bribed to tell it was a plane.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But, even though, I mean...
Well, sure, but again...
Who's it bribe people?
Now you're getting these massive conspiracy theories that...
Takes thousands of people, kind of like UFOs?
No, that's
those are
different.
Those are real. This is not.
Well, I know, once you start adding other things...
It adds way too many people into this occasion. I mean, you got, 4 different planes, right?
Right.
That hit 3 different targets and 1 hit in a field.
Yeah.
So maybe that was the stupid one that couldn't fly the maneuvers that they were supposed to fly.
Well, not according to the movie.
No, that's because the passengers
took over.
They were heading for the White House or the Congress, one of those buildings.
Well, anyway,
the White House.
That was, one of those 2 buildings. Maybe
something important.
Maybe it was a pick 'em once they got there, whichever they.
Yeah.
You know.
So, any which ways, to orchestrate this from a cave in the middle of nowhere.
Well, you know.
But he wasn't in a cave. Look where he was.
Well, and that's the thing. They said that he used basically no means of communication. So how did he orchestrate this without no means of communication?
Well, I know he did because
they
he
did
had
have
video
communication.
Well, yeah, he had everything
communication between each other.
Yeah, so
I mean, that's why they did with the resources they had. They basically used our own resources.
Exactly.
Against us.
So any other things on your list there?
Flight 93, but
we kind of talked about that.
Well, yeah. So let's go a little bit onto that. Let's see.
How much longer do you want to take this?
I don't care.
I've already got a long one. I'll just keep
I mean, they said there was barely any debris. And that's the photo we have.
Right, that looks pretty cleaned up.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah. There must be more.
I don't see none. Okay, here's the hijackers. Polish names and here. Fact that was seized upon 9/11.
Oh, that's because some of the names that they were reported ended up being people who were
on the
alive.
no-fly list.
No, who were alive.
Really?
And that was it's because you have some names who are like Bob Johnson.
Or John Smith.
Yeah, in Arabic, obviously, but
Wow.
that seems silly.
Yeah.
So, anybody has really talked about that.
Well, yeah, everyone. Here we go. Compact voice recorders, flight data recording.
Black boxes.
Yeah, the black boxes were not recovered from the remains of the WTC's attack. However, 2 men who worked extensively on the wreck of the World Trade stated the Black Book behind the scenes, Ground Zero, that they helped federal agents find 3 of the 4 black boxes from the jetliners. Okay, first of all, if there's a fire at 1400 degrees, I don't think a black box is being recovered.
Isn't that what they're made for, though?
Well, a normal crash.
Indestructible.
They're not indestructible.
That's
Nothing's indestructible.
Except for Superman.
He's not indestructible. He's indestructible.
In his newest movie, he dies.
Yeah.
Well, his newest animated movie. They just put out.
But that's not real.
Any which ways. So, still,
real Superman.
I mean, if it's in a fire at 1400 degrees,
Plus you got all the building collapsing.
collapsing on it, you can't tell me it's indestructible. It's not going to be indestructible.
I know, but you're probably right. The fire of that.
I mean, okay.
So anyway, are they saying they did not find?
They said they did not find them at all.
Those 2 planes that hit the World Trade Center.
Well, they said
Except
from
these
Flight 11 175 were
recovered.
not recovered from the remains of the WTC. However, 2 men said they found 3 of the 4 black boxes from the jetliners.
So these 2 guys, who are these 2 guys?
Michael.
But I mean, who did?
I don't know.
I mean, it says they worked with
who
them.
worked extensively in the wreckage.
Who?
Nicholas
I don't know.
Tomasi, Michael Ballone.
Agents inside Black House plane. To go out, my ATV was parked at the top of the
Oh wait,
stairs.
it says according to the commission report, both were recovered. Both from Flight 77 and 93. 77 is the one that hit the Pentagon.
I don't know.
And then 93 is the other one.
Because I doubt you could get the ones from the ones that hit the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be
that's what-
totally hard to get.
So it would have melted.
Yeah, they would probably
Melted and been.
extreme heat and extreme pressure. I mean, it does a lot of work on something.
Yeah.
I understand they're made to be resistant to a lot of things,
What about these two guys? There's two witnesses saying they found them.
and they could have found them. They could have found something, but I mean, under extreme heat and extreme pressure, they were probably too damaged to actually get information off of. I mean, the heat alone could damage the electronics of the devices inside.
Yeah, that's true.
So now take the two people. I mean, are they really? What the hell is that, Justin? You got Google.
Looks like that's my homepage.
Oh.
That's just it changes every day. Usually.
Sure. Flowers and little girls on your homepage.
What's better?
Oh, Michael Ballone obituary. Is he dead?
Oh. So he died.
He also played baseball.
Yeah,
Alright, so maybe it's a different one.
it's probably a few Michael Ballones.
Trauma response assistant to children.
Sure.
So I'm sure there's a couple hundred of them. Go down to the 9/11 one. Okay, there. Black boxes.
Unbelievable, considering they're virtually indestructible. They were recovered from the Flight 93 and Flight 97.
Experts
Or there was too
debate
bad
whether
damage.
all the records would be found that Ren probably couldn't survive the crash impact and result in fire, they said.
Yeah.
First time
So
I knew it. Black boxes are occasionally destroyed in accidents. They really are not indestructible.
Yeah. Kind of like I just said.
They're so smart.
Wow.
There's just some instances of when black boxes have been destroyed.
okay.
So he was a recovery site volunteer. So-called track team recovery site volunteer. He recalled them arriving at the site, setting up their equipment. He said he did not go out with them, but observed their search. He said he observed the team with a box that appeared charred, but was reddish orange with 2 stripes. There was one that I saw, and the other 2 were recovered in different locations, but I wasn't there for the other 2.
Hmm.
So it sounds like, I don't know, maybe he's...
So, I mean, if they were charred and they were hot enough
Yeah.
to damage the components inside, I mean, because how much heat does it take to damage electronic components? I
There's a
mean,
couple hundred.
even if they were fireproof to a certain extent, there'd still be damage to a certain extent.
It depends how much heat shielding you have on a black box.
Yeah, I just don't. Well, look at him. He's
What's the one? You can't say look at him. People look at you and they say, "How could he possibly know anything?"
You're right, and I.
Then you
know,
speak and they still say that.
But okay, but no, I mean, sorry, he kind of looks like.
Well, he kind of looks like a sweet-looking dude with a nice beard.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever you're...
Hey, wait to see him in his party clothes. Okay.
Ah.
Look at that hard hat. He's got stickers on.
Well,
Jeez.
I just.
He's got glasses. He's got to be smart.
New house.
Case in point.
Case in point, no glasses. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. He just.
Well, his story sounds kind of, when you actually read what he said, it sounds like maybe he's...
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He wasn't even there, for one.
Well, he wasn't.
He wasn't actually with them when they found it. He just says that he was watching them and he
And
saw
he
them see
apparently-
something.
So he
that-
wasn't there, but he was watching.
He wasn't with them.
He wasn't with them.
He was at the site doing other things, and he saw them pick up something, and he jumped to the conclusion that it was a black box.
Yeah.
And that's the source of the conspiracy theory.
See what happens when we jump to conclusions?
So that sounds like, that's probably...
like I do?
Yeah, all the time, man.
So, any which ways, yeah. It's... Yeah.
That one sounds very questionable.
Well, a lot of them are very questionable. I mean...
Yeah, probably.
When you got a plane crashing into a building, you can expect the building to fall. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got
what about a UAV crashing into a skyscraper?
UAV.
Unmanned aerial vehicle?
Well, I mean,
it's like usually about 10 feet long, maybe. It's just basically like a...
That ain't a full-grown plane.
Right. But it's still...
That ain't a 747 crashing into it.
Now we're being specific.
Well,
what about a...
Okay, a passenger line plane.
What about a personal jet plane? You know, like those smaller ones?
Well, I'm sure they don't hold as much fuel, but, I mean, depending on the building, I'm sure they could do enough damage causing at least the top floors to crumble in. And once you get that much coming down on it...
I really don't know if they could or not, so I'm not a relative source of information on that.
Well, neither am I. But my view on it is if you got a 747 with probably half the fuel that it can hold...
A whole lot of jet fuel.
I mean, even
water.
if it's half the fuel, that'd be a lot. I mean, what a sprinkler system lets off, probably
quite a bit of water.
A gallon a second, I'd say.
Well, I mean,
I know they can flood an apartment.
Yeah.
How do you know this, Heyman?
I don't know. Because when I worked for the nursing home, I was told not to hit them because they could flood the whole building. Yeah, we had to keep like 3 feet away from them because if anything hit them, they would literally flood whatever room they were in. And since the doors...
Do you really need that much water?
Yeah,
without a fire?
Huh?
Do you really need that much water?
Do you need that much water?
Yeah,
probably not.
But you want to make sure you put it
But
out.
you want to make sure it's out.
If you are working and you're told, don't start that because you'll...
Well, the thing is, you can't stop it.
Well, yeah.
You have to have the fire department come in and shut off the main valve, which the main valve pipe is this big.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, yeah.
And then it goes down to pipes that big, to each one.
Yeah.
You need a special screwdriver to do that.
Yeah. I think you need more than a screwdriver.
Let me get this.
So, yeah, I mean...
You just gotta have the right amount of torque on
the problem is you can't shut them off.
Well, yeah.
So, after 2 hours...
Unless you go up to the roof and break out the water tower pipe.
What?
Or the water stored up top?
No, it ain't stored up top. It comes in from a special pipe.
Some of them are.
Well...
Usually the skyscrapers are.
Oh.
Because it's easier to then pumping water up.
Well, I'm sure they pump water up
You
first.
gotta pump it up pretty high for the skyscraper.
Well,
So usually they have tanks sitting on top of the...
okay, so even though that's even more pressure coming down...
I'm sure a hospital wouldn't need that. So.
Well, it ain't a hospital, it's a nursing
I'm saying, nursing home, hospital, same thing.
No,
Probably
totally
They're
different.
both keeping them alive.
Probably
No
some-
doctors in the
Probably one floor.
Really?
No doctors in the nursing home.
Well, they come in. They don't stay there. They come in to see people.
You got a bunch of
Maybe
people
not.
that are about to die
Sometimes.
and you have no doctors?
No, it's nurses and CNAs.
Well, I mean, they don't have doctors that are actually there.
Yeah,
staff.
they have,
Staff. They
actually
have ones
they
that come
do.
in.
So they
I mean,
do.
they have
Depending
ones
on
that
some
come
of
in.
them.
So you're lying
It's
again.
the therapist.
Well, they're still doctors.
All right, I think yes.
Yeah, we're good. Okay.
We're splitting hairs here.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah,
Any
but
final thoughts?
final thoughts? You know, I'm saying that some of it could probably be possible, but the likelihood of it all coming together in a big conspiracy is very hard.
It's remote.
I mean, it's like getting thousands of people trying to orchestrate something and keep it from everyone. You know, that would be extremely hard.
Yeah.
Even if you had millions of dollars to do it. And the resources. It still, one person screws up, the whole operation is screwed up. And I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, okay, someone did paint thermite on it. One of the terrorists came in and painted thermite on it. Even if he did get the chance to do that, I mean, like Brian said, 100 pounds of thermite for each one just would not be able to be done.
Each
column.
Right.
Column.
When you
So
say
in
those,
what?
you gotta specify.
Okay, say how many columns? Probably at least 10. At least.
It's a lot of thermite paint to have.
So that's 1,000 pounds of thermite paint to get into.
You
And paint
need
on.
Arnold Schwarzenegger to bring that stuff in.
I mean, even if the
It is
company
good paint. It is
that
good
did the
paint.
renovations on it had that in there, I just don't see that being able to be. They would have had to layered it on the whole, everywhere.
Oh, okay, yeah, we know that. That's probably not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, now jet fuel, I could see 2,400 gallons of jet fuel doing exactly the same thing.
24,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 24,000.
And that's
yeah.
only half the capacity.
That's only half.
And that's only half, and they said it was practically full.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is why they picked it.
So 40,000, say,
Okay.
would easily just demolish a building. So, I guess I'm leaning too far out of here.
Look at that band. We're almost down.
So,
So
I
we're basically
think we're
saying 9/11 is what it seems.
9/11 is more
Well,
of
for
what
the
it
most
seems
part.
and what it doesn't seem.
Well,
yes.
our consensus is that these conspiracies probably are conspiracies.
Probably are just crackpots.
Not true.
I wouldn't say that. Some probably are, but there are some people who aren't.
Well,
His words. We do
my
not-
words.
His
We're
words,
here
yeah.
at the Sci-Cast do not condone what he says.
Yes,
Yes.
the
Actually,
opinions,
you do, but
The opinions expressed by Heyman are not the opinions of
the rest of you, you're right.
necessarily.
Necessarily,
Yeah.
it's okay. I don't mind being
The lone wolf.
the lone
Alright.
crackpot.
So if you haven't fallen asleep by now, this concludes episode 15 of the Sci-Cast on conspiracies of September 11th, 2001.
And our next episode will be a wrap of the. What's our next
A
one?
wrap?
A wrap up of the.
Oh.
Apocalypse?
I don't know. What are we
We're going back to that?
We're gonna have a wrap of the.
How about
NFL recent NFL draft and the summary of the Vikings
something to do
draft.
with-
Oh, screw that.
Hannah's gonna love that one.
I
Just-
think I ain't
I'm
even
just
here
kidding.
for the next one.
Oh, I just got.
How-
I
how
think
about-
I'm getting sick there.
Yeah,
How about we,
we're gonna have big money here instead of.
How about
instead
we
of-
do probably different energy sources?
We're gonna do it next
Probably
week.
solar panels.
Well, I mean, just different types
done
of
that.
Have we?
Yeah, well, we talked
we
about
talk about solar panels every time. I'm surprised you didn't.
Well,
fuel
this
cells.
is probably the only podcast you didn't mention lasers or solar panels, and I'm actually surprised that didn't.
That's probably true.
Well, I guess the laser could have ignited the fuel.
Ah.
Why don't you go write a paper on that?
Well, we'll decide what
Yeah.
the next topic will
All
be.
right.
It won't be the NFL draft, though, I promise. I was just kidding.
All right. Well, I'm Dr.
Hey, we
J.
could have your dad. I'm
I'm
Heyman.
trying to end this damn podcast.
Yeah, have your dad and big money.
Yeah, without me.
Yeah,
So,
that would be fun.
Okay, I am Dr. J,
I'm Heyman.
I'm the special guest.
and that is a wrap.